Yo, welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. And today, man, we got a great show lined up for you guys. But when you come across the video, please smash that like button. Please share the video out. Please turn on your post notifications so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And if this is your first time coming across the channel and coming across the platform, please hit the subscribe button. Please like the video, share it out, and post a comment. On this channel, we cover the sports, hot topics, roundtable talk, and marriage chronicles. I see everybody in the comments section, hashtag salute. And you know what my mantra is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. On today's show, man, we got to get off into the comments that Jay Norvell, the head coach of Colorado State, said about ESPN on what they was doing with Deion and his regime over there at Colorado. Basically, Jay Norvell is basically saying that ESPN has hyped Deion Sanders up throughout the course of the season. You know, Colorado Buffaloes, they suffered another defeat last night. Now their record's at 4-7. They got one more game. I don't think they're bowl eligible. But Jay Norvell, if you go back to early in the season when Colorado was facing off against Colorado State, leading up to that game, it was some controversial remarks said by Jay Norvell. Basically, it was predicated off of, Deion Sanders' post-game press conferences where he would have his hat, his sunglasses on, and he would address the media. So Jay Norvell basically came out and they asked him some questions leading up to the game. And he said, when I'm speaking to grown folks, I got my glasses off and my hat off when I'm addressing these people. And that's how my mother raised me. A lot of people in the media thought that Jay Norvell was taking a shot towards Deion Sanders, saying that, he's being disrespectful and his mother didn't raise him right. And, Deion took it with a grain of salt and just responded casually, but didn't make it a big deal. But Jay Norvell has been on record stating that, it's a football game to be played. They asked him a question, and this was some personal beliefs that he goes by. This is how he speaks to a room full of grown men. But, the media took it and ran with it. And now Jay Norvell is accusing ESPN of hyping Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes up. Even after losing 7 of their last 8 games, he is on this train saying that ESPN has hyped Deion Sanders up so much, it's taken away from the game of football. And he basically noted out, Deion's celebrityness. Deion is a celebrity, and, the cameras following him around, well-off media covers it. Shout out to his son, Deion Sanders Jr., for covering it all. But basically, he is accusing of ESPN of hyping Colorado up. In a recent interview that Jay Norvell sat down and spoke with the press via Zoom, he had some candid words to say. So let's take a listen to what Jay Norvell had to say. And when we finish listening to it, we'll come back and wrap up the show.
A lot of times. And so going into that game, I knew it was a rivalry game. They used to play that game in Mile High Stadium between Colorado State and Colorado. And so the game's been off the schedule. I knew how much it meant to the fans at CSU. And I get it. Deion's a celebrity. ESPN, wanted to prop him up and milk the whole story for as long as they could. And I just was tired of hearing about it. ESPN came and interviewed our kids, and all they did was ask about Colorado. And I thought it was really disrespectful. And, it's a rivalry game. And, we wanted people to know that we were there to win the game. And we have a good program. And, I just made that comment on my own personal values. I don't wear sunglasses when I speak to adults. I take them off. I take my hat off. And I expect our players to do it too. And I just felt like as a leader, that's my job to set an example. And so, they took it the whatever way they took it. But I really was making a message to our players and our program.
So you heard what Jay Norvell had to say about that. Basically, he was saying, like I stated earlier, that, Deion is a celebrity, you know what I'm saying? So celebrityism comes with things like that. When you're a high profiled, current athlete, now you're a head coach, the cameras are going to follow you around. It's because of his message to start the season off, talking about we're coming. We got the Louis with us. And, we know Colorado's program last year, it was dreadful, 1-11. Well, they did turn it around a little bit, 4-7 right now. Got a chance to go 5-7 or 4-8. But nevertheless, it's 3 more victories than what they had last year. So I think they're moving in the right direction. But in this case, what Jay Norvell said is ESPN was hyping the whole story up and riding this whole narrative to keep the story going, to keep the hype surrounded around Deion Sanders in Colorado. Like he stated in his message to his kids, this is something that he would do. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't basically what he's trying to say. He's trying to clarify that he wasn't taking a shot at Deion Sanders, but that's the way ESPN made it seem. So then it was a rift between the two coaches before the game started. But Deion was one of the coaches that gave high praise to Jay Norvell in Colorado State. And you guys know what happened, inside that game when Henry Blackburn, the late hit on Travis Hunter that caused him to miss 3 straight games, which I think really affected Colorado, took out their 2-way star, with that lacerated liver. So injuries like that, when you got key guys going out, it's hard to bounce back from, but it's always that next man up mentality. But like I've always stated, and I'm going to say this again, the loss to Stanford derailed Colorado's season, man. When you're up 29-0 going into halftime and you let that lead slip away and you go into double overtime and you lose that game, that's one of the games that they should circle on their calendar and look at during the off season. That was the game that really sent Colorado spiraling down the hill, because you guys got to look at it. Colorado wasn't expected to beat none of them big major, teams. So whatever Deion has conveyed to his guys, it's a learning experience. But like Deion said in his latest post-game press conference, this is the hardest stretch that he's been through in life. Deion has been through some major things, such as the surgeries with the blood clots and things like that, the removal of his toes. And then he referenced this is one of the hardest stretches that he's been through in life. That goes to show that Deion he's a competitor and he wants to win at all costs, but things just didn't go as planned. It started out well, but then it fizzled off. And that's what Jay Norvell was saying. ESPN hyped it up. They hyped the narrative up and they kept it going. They tried to milk it as long as they could. But then when things started spiraling out of control, it was nothing else to milk. But Jay Norvell coming into that game against Colorado, everybody thought that, he might have been a little jealous of prime time, but, y'all can take it, however y'all want to see it, however y'all want to see fit and run with it. But, some people think that there was a little jealousy there, when you make comments like that. But nevertheless, kudos to Jay Norvell standing 10 toes down on what he believes in. And, giving the media that interview that he just did talking about ESPN. So basically, this is almost like a shot at ESPN, because you guys took the narrative and ran with it and hyped Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes up, and you tried to milk it. But, that's, for people's judgment. You guys let me know what y'all think down in the comments section. Post a comment. How do y'all feel about it? Keep liking the videos. Keep sharing them out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. We'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.